and please, this is not an native kind of downtrodden. The truth needs to be known, that's a fact. But there are plenty of positive, wonderful spiritual stories that people need to know, and people really don't have access to. And of course, in the native world, it's only recently that writers have come out to write. They come from an oral tradition. And though that was looked down upon as something very primitive and silly and foolish and not valid by Western conceptualization, it is valid. And in fact, they believe, and I believe, and I'm saying they, the people who live on the reservation, and myself, in the native community outside of the reservation community, this is a tremendous reality for these people who they view the oral tradition as sacred. The minute you write something down, there's a chance of distortion because the mind comes into play more so than if you're operating purely from the spirit. So, and acting locally, where does that really start? I mean, what's the most finite point you can think of in acting locally? It's from the center right here. We all forget that, all of us, myself included. The human heart. How much more locally can you get in your everyday interactions with people? The baseline for spiritual endeavors of any type. Anyway, okay, I said I'd stop. Continuing with the... all right. This is a symbolic gesture since we can't shut off the lights, the videotape won't come out. I've been told. So, here goes. Good to have some natural light too. Of course, the light inside. Don't let it go out. You see the city dilemmas? They were all out of sage today. No sage sticks in Cambridge Natural Food, so what can I say? We have cedar, and the sage is in your heart. So you can imagine dimness here with each one. Sunset whisperings of a walk-on fire, calling Peta Ohanteshni, the fire without end. We enter the sage-covered floor, while the blanket orange, infinite sky, door to the spirit world awaits. Peta Ohanteshni, right? This poem is for Chief Running Deer, who is the most gentle and wise chieftain I've met as of late, and I remember the vision through which the Great Spirit brought us together, and in the memory of that, the living memory, I will read you the survivors. We will read you the survivors. Jessa is now here with me, and a wonderful reader at that. One empty spirit, frozen in time, drifting through space, yet trapped in a lonely embrace. Immobile, the bitter cold fractured fragments on the ground, we collect in frozen time to find that life is not so round. Placid glacial rage of numbness plagued.
And 500 years gone by.
Disintegrated without a trace. Incinerated in a flaming screech
to a halt.
And hate without a face. This poem speaks for itself, I hope, and I, EYE, dedicated to Swamiji, who, through his teachings, has very patiently and lovingly helped me to help myself through major obstacles again and again. And it's called Without Walls. Walking with the woods, pine needles layered underfoot, cushioning my every barefoot step, with sweet fragrances upon every glance and every look I breathe in, deep green, growing, purified and clean. The chickadee calls of life as it truly is, everything connected and without walls. This next poem is dedicated to my friend Blunt-Sweat, who is my good friend and an extraordinary medicine man of the Micmac, particular Micmac band up in Nova Scotia now, but who has shared with me greatly along the Good Red Road and shares with me still. It's called Through My Native Spirit Guide. I see what he has seen. I feel what he has felt. I see the encampment of teepees all about,
bathing in sweet grass and the circle of life itself.
In harmony, the only way known,
yet threatened
each and every day
by the white invaders,
unwelcome to stay. But he sees through my eyes too, and it's worse than he could have ever dreamed. His worst nightmare come true.
Pollution everywhere.
And the techno-robotic
schemes of
warfare,
high-tech,
lethal bombs,
Mother Earth struggling,
hanging on for her children.
A new start.
While the spirit world,
in desperation,
crying out for the reawakening of the human heart.